Hello, Internet. I am very sorry about last week. As I said, very tired. I actually ended up spending the entire weekend in bed and most of the week. As a matter of fact, I did the math. Saturday and Sunday, out of the 42 hours, I spent 10 of those awake. So yeah, I really needed to sleep. I ended up calling out from work the entire week. I mean, I did go in Tuesday, but I ended up leaving after like 3 hours. I couldn't do it. And it wasn't just being tired. It wasn't just being exhausted. I was like dry heaving. I ached. I had a headache that wouldn't go away. It was a mess. I am feeling a bit better. Certainly less tired. The headache and body pain has gone away. I suspect that has something to do with the fact that I had a paracentesis on Thursday. They broke another record by drawing out 3 liters of fluid this time. So that is the new record. That's the new maximum that they've pulled out of me. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot for me. From what I understand, other people have had a lot more pulled out of them. As a matter of fact, I heard about somebody who had to get 13 liters drawn out of them, and that is, wow. Like, the only thing I can think of is he's got to be a big guy, because there is no way anybody's fitting 13 liters of anything into this. I'm beanpole. But yeah, afterwards, I felt a lot better, and certainly felt less tired the following day on Friday, and even less tired today. Still tired, but not nearly as bad. And I'll take it. The paracentesis itself went really well. I showed up at 9. I was out by noon. That's a new record too, for like the speediest, like very quick, very fast. I appreciated it a lot, and I had actually a really nice conversation with the doctor and nurses that assisted that did the procedure. It was nice. I liked it. Definitely, like if I'm going to start rating these, definitely a 5-star experience. 5 out of 5. But yeah, for the most part, it's just, I just really hate being so unproductive. I mean, I've said this before, I hate calling out from work. I hate leaving work early. I feel like I'm just heaping a huge burden onto my coworkers, and I hate it. But more than that, I'm not doing anything for myself, aside from like eating and showering, and like the little things. But I'm not keeping up on anything that I would consider like really important. And so it's just kind of frustrating. Like I have a life to lead, and I don't have a whole lot of life left. So I would like to get on that, and this exhaustion is getting in my way, and it's really annoying. I really hate it. But that leads me to one of the things that I really wanted to talk about, because one of the things that this exhaustion is getting in the way of is my writing, which I really need to get on because, and I can finally talk about this. I can't give too much away, but I did get permission to discuss basically the surface details. I've mentioned this before. I've talked about how I have a deal worked out regarding my short horror fiction. I can finally talk about it. So I'm going to preface this with a little background, and then I'll get into what exactly is going on. I have been a fan of the No Sleep podcast for a long time. If you haven't heard of the No Sleep podcast and you like short horror fiction, definitely check them out. They produce these short stories as audio fiction, so like voice acted out. Kind of like an audiobook, but the different roles are played by different people, different voice actors. And they are very, very good. Like I said, they've been going on for about 10 years now. They're in season 16, which I don't really know how seasons work, that they have 16 seasons in 10 years, but whatever. They continue to produce amazing work. And I've always wanted to have my stuff be on the show. In, I want to say early 2019, I made internet friends with their COO. I think that's the right job title. Olivia White. Like I said, she gave me permission to talk about this. I still kind of have to be a little bit vague because I'm not entirely sure the legal stuff about this. But anyway, and then flash forward to last October when I found out that my cancer came back, and then I was eventually told that it was terminal. So at that point, I told Olivia, and we worked out a plan. Now, the initial plan was that I was going to donate my short stories to the show, and any story that they put on the show, any money that I would have gotten for it, would go as a donation to the American Cancer Society. But Olivia eventually talked me out of that idea, because if I donate my stories to the show, then they're completely out of my hands, even now, while I'm still alive. And there's the hopefully unlikely possibility that the No Sleep podcast just goes under, like they stop being a show. And then if the contract says that I have, donate the stories to the show, and the show doesn't exist anymore, then my stories don't go anywhere. So instead, what I'm doing is I'm willing my stories to Olivia. And I've gotten to know her very well, to the point where I trust her creatively with my work. I trust her to polish what I've already created and work with any story prompts or story outlines that I haven't written yet to produce her own take on it that still is in keeping with my own creative vision. And then donations and blah, 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 percentages. Again, I'm going to have to be kind of vague there because we haven't really worked that part out yet. We're still figuring that out, but that's where we're going with this. We'll start with, hopefully, getting my stories on the show, which would be amazing. Like, oh my God, you have no idea. The host, David Cummings, he always introduces the story, and he'll say, like, in this story by author blah, blah, blah. And I have always wanted to hear him say, in this story by author Daniel Becker. Holy crap, I'd fucking die. If that happens, I'm gonna squeal like a fangirl. I will post a video of my live reaction if that happens, okay? It'll be amazing. So anyway, yeah, so that's the intent. The further intent is that eventually, hopefully, my works will be published as an anthology book. And obviously, while I'm still alive, I will continue to write stories. Olivia will continue to help me on that. She'll help me work on, editing and whatnot to polish them up and make them, publication worthy. And it's only after I die that she'll take over. And I think that really works. I think that works out for everyone. So that's it. That's my big news. Even after I'm gone, my work will endure. And I'm really happy with that arrangement. Like, I kind of harbor this perhaps egotistical fantasy that my work will become famous after I die. Like that happened for H.P. Lovecraft. He was kind of like, he wallowed in obscurity until the day he died. And then it wasn't until, years later that people started to love his work, and it got circulated, and it just kind of like captured the collective imagination of the world. And now you can see his influence in everything from the Evil Dead trilogy to Hellboy to video games and movies and TV shows. I mean, there was that HBO show, Lovecraft Country, that's based off of his work. So, like, all that stuff. I would love for my work to become famous like that, where even after I'm gone, it endures. That would be my lasting legacy on the world. And I would, wow, that would be amazing. I would love for that to happen. But it'll happen. If it happens, it'll be after I'm dead, so I won't have any control over that. So, I don't know. Maybe someday, 10, 20 years down the line, people will be buying a ticket to a movie based on my stuff. That would be... Oh, God. If there's an afterlife, I hope I get to see that. Like, I hope I get to like look down onto Earth and to watch a movie based on my stuff. That'd be so cool. Okay, so anyway, so moving on. So now I come to something that I wasn't really going to address, but it keeps happening. So I'm going to address it. But this is the one and only time I'm going to do that, so pay attention. I have been noticing a lot of comments on my channel that have been accusing me of faking my cancer. And I don't know if you're trolling or not, but on the off chance that you're not, that you are sincerely concerned that I am scamming people, let me say, I understand. There are a lot of people with vlogs like mine that talk about debilitating injuries, life-threatening diseases, and terminal cancers, and thrown into the mix, once in a while, you will find someone who is trying to fleece people of money. And that's terrible. So I understand that fear that you might be getting taken advantage of, or that other people might be getting taken advantage of. And I get that. I completely agree that the people who scam people, who pretend to have something this serious in order to get attention, money, whatever, that's deplorable. And they deserve to be found out, and they deserve to have whatever legal ramifications come to them, and social ramifications as well. But that's not me. This is real. This is really happening to me. I am giving you the information as I get it. Doctors have told me I'm going to die from this. Doctors have told me I'm going to die from it. Doctors have told me it's likely that I'm going to die from it. Doctors have said, well, 6 months to a year. And then most recently, my oncologist said, well, but that's really kind of based on information that we got from old people, and you're not old, so maybe you'll live longer, but you're still probably going to die. So I understand how it sounds inconsistent. I can understand how that looks to people who aren't going through it with me. But I am giving you the information as I get it. And I am being as upfront and honest as I possibly can. But if you really think that I'm faking this, I invite you to go back over the 150 videos plus that I have on this channel that show me in different stages of both my chemotherapy and my recovery from surgery, where I have been hooked up to machines, where I have been in hospital beds, where I have been on horrible medications. You can see that I have tubes going into me, into my side. I have scars where these tubes went in. I have a belly scar where I had a double resection. I mean, it kind of frustrates me that I feel the need to justify this, that I have to show you physical evidence. But again, I get it. If I don't show you physical evidence, how do you possibly know that I'm legit? So fine, here's my physical evidence. Scars from what I've gone through, videos that show me going through it. And if that's not enough for you, I don't know what else to tell you. Go somewhere else. Find a different vlog to watch. I don't know what else to say. That said, if you are not sincere, if you're just saying it to troll me because you think it's funny to make fun of somebody who is dying, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. You're full of shit. And that's all I have to say to you. And any and all further comments that talk about me faking my terminal cancer are going to be deleted without comment, without response, because I just don't have the patience for it anymore. I'm fucking dying. So knock it off. Okay. That unfortunate business aside, So as usual, I will read comments from the previous video and respond to them. So I saw a lot of people talking about my sunglasses. Thank you very much for your compliments. I do like them very, very much. I did post a pinned comment that explained that they are the Catwoman goggles, and here they are. And as you can see, they're mirrored on the outside. They're a bit old now. Like you can probably see they're scratched up a lot. Yeah, I fell in love with them, and they just rapidly became my default sunglasses. I love these things. Like they're huge and gaudy, but I don't care. But they are losing a lot of the padding on the inside here. You can see it's kind of worn away a lot. So I'll probably get a new pair at some point. Elizabeth Churchill says, thanks for the update. An enlarged supraclavicular lymph node was one of the first symptoms of my I'm going to butcher these words, I'm sorry. Mediastinal lymphoma. Your upcoming CT scans should pick up signs of any masses in site of origin if it is indeed lymphoma. I hope it's not, but most lymphomas are treatable these days. Good luck. Thank you very much. I'm sorry that you had to go through that too. I hope that you're doing well. But yeah, I'm told that lymphoma is not the worst thing in the world. Definitely concerned, looking forward to that CT scan and biopsy to see, what this might mean. But I'm not as anxious about it as I think I might have been. Still got to schedule that CT scan and biopsy. I kind of feel like it should have been done this past week. Maybe they were waiting on me to call, but I was tired, and so I just didn't, and I kept forgetting to. But I'll try to make sure to call this week. Like I said, I'm going to have plenty of things to talk to my oncologist about on Tuesday if I can get a hold of him. But yeah, that is certainly my concern, and I'm glad to hear that a lot of people have told me that lymphomas, like, certainly not, it's not great, but it's not the worst thing in the world either. Julia Coyne says, love the glasses, thank you. The lymph node. Maybe that's why you feel so tired all the time. I don't know. Good that you're out and working today. Have a good rest of your day with your cool glasses. I don't know. I don't think lymphoma causes exhaustion. My exhaustion, I was told that that's the primary side effect of the medication that I'm taking, the capecitabine. And that could be coupled with other things that are going on inside of me, in my liver, in my lymph nodes. I don't know. Yet another question to ask the oncologist. Like I said, I have a lot to talk to him about when I can. But that is a good question to ask. So thank you. I will keep that in mind to pass along to him. Feisty Schlomit. That's a cool name. Feisty Schlomit says, thanks for the update, Daniel. I'm always happy to hear from you, and you help me be a better support to a friend who has gallbladder cancer. And yeah, love the Catwoman shades. Thank you. And I'm sorry that your friend's going through that. I hope they're okay. I hope they're weathering it as well as they can, and I wish them a speedy recovery. And I'm glad that they have a friend that can stand by them and help them through that. That's very important. And I'm glad that my experience, my videos about my experience are helping you to help them. It's one of those ways, like, it's not something I really think about too hard, but I guess it's true that my videos are helping others to turn around and help others. And I encourage that. If I can be of any assistance to the rest of the world, that's wonderful. I want that to be the case. And if my videos help people learn how to turn around and help others that are going through something like this, or people who are watching this that are going through something like this themselves, like, that's wonderful. That's beautiful. I like being a part of that chain of paying it forward. And And I love the idea that that is an incredible positive that can come out of such a terrible situation, where I can take something really bad, really hard for me to deal with, and I can find some way to use that to be not just a person that people watch on a video, but people, get something from, something of value. And I love the idea that it continues to be of value as it's passed on forward from them to somebody else, and from that person onto somebody else, and just keeps going. And it doesn't even have to have my name attached to it. I don't care if I don't care if my involvement is not known. I care that it happens, where I can facilitate that. I can get the ball rolling. I start that snowball at the top of the mountain, and then it just builds momentum, and it's gaining size and growing and growing and growing. Okay, maybe that's not the best metaphor, because the only outcome I can think of is that it didn't like crushes somebody's house, so maybe not that. But you get what I'm saying. Just the idea that I can be a catalyst for good, that I can encourage people to do good, to help others, and that those they help will see what they have done and turn around and do it again for other people. And to keep that chain going, to keep that alive, that's better than any publication deal I could ever have. That's better than any lasting legacy. I mean, I mentioned in this video already that my lasting legacy would be these stories that I put out into the world. But nah, like, that's good, that's great, man, that's really great. But more than that, like, when people remember me, I want them to remember the helping others and encouraging others to help first, and my story second. But I like that so much, that idea that I'm helping you help your friend, and I encourage you to encourage them to keep that alive, to pay it forward. It all comes down to what kind of mark you want to leave on the world, and what kind of person you want people to remember you as. And I really want to be somebody who did good and helped people, and helped people to help people. So sounds like I'm off to a good start. All right, folks, that'll do it for this one. Thank you once again. I will update again soon with information about CT scan and biopsy and all the stuff I plan on talking to my oncologist about. So until next time, take care.